All right, let's do the review for Jermell Charlo defeating Brian Carlos Castanos in the rematch by 10th round KO. I did pick that Charlo would stop Castanos in 10, so I got it right on the button. Um, and he did exactly what I needed him to he needed to do, not what I needed him to do. He did exactly what he needed to do. That fight, that was Ronnie Shields' fighter in there last night, to be honest. And credit to Derek James for them, and I guess Juan Guzman, credit to them for allowing him, uh, Derek James changing his philosophy and allowing him the best opportunity to win, and that's by doing what he did before he got there, and that's utilizing the ring. That's you know, he did like a check hook early, but I didn't see a lot of that. He just slid across the ropes. He fought good off the ropes. He boxed good. Um, you know what I'm saying? He touched him, didn't load up on every shot. He threw a jab and some movement changed everything for Castanos. Then he didn't want to jab to get on the inside, so he did everything he needed to do. That was perfect, and he closed the show. And he didn't try to close the show. He just throwing a left hook and he broke him. And like I said, he needed jab to the stomach, touch the body, jab upstairs. And I told y'all the guy who used the jab will run away with this fight or win the fight. And that's what happened. Stanos didn't use his jab. He's not known as a jabber. When he did use his jab, it was more of a phantom punch. Um, it was more smoke and mirrors than actually being effective. And Charlo worked the jab up and down. He touched him, he touched him, he touched him. He let his punches flow, and that's exactly what he needed to do. That's exactly what he needed to do, and that was a perfect game plan by him and Derek James. Um, you couldn't ask for anything better than what he gave you last night. And the only thing, if he did make an adjustment, it was in the seventh round. This fight really should have been stopped in seven. He let him off the hook again. He followed the game plan too far. And when he had him hurt in the seventh, he should have stopped him in the seventh, but he didn't. Like I told y'all, 10, and it was a product of him going back to the old Ronnie Shields mill, and that's moving, touching him, mixing in, changing the speeds of his punches a little bit. And like I said before, there's a reason that he was a favorite in this fight. And he picked his jab up this fight, and they did everything they need to do. Talking about he was in better condition in this fight, and I just think he had a better game plan. When Castanos got in range and he started working, when he would hold him. Castano still has some success, and that right hand, over lead right hand was causing Charlo all types of problems. He couldn't get away from it because he kept his guard low. He dropped that left hand, and a lot of fighters drop that left hand. As he get closer, you got to tighten your guard up as the mix come closer to you. You got to tighten that guard up. You got to bring that hand back, and that's one adjustment he did make. He got hit with right hand. It's just that his movement never allowed, his jab never allowed Castanos to really build off throwing that straight right hand. That was the difference. But he did a good game plan. Movement brought by Castanos couldn't handle it. The foot movement couldn't handle the hand speed. And when he did get there, he just headhunted too much. He went to the body every now and again, but Charlo mixed in enough body shots that slowed him down. And I think the body shots is ultimately you know, what really did it, bro. I think it was the body work. I think it was the body work. So, that's my opinion on it. But, that was a good fight. That was a good fight. And, Derek James is on his way to being the trainer of the year again, in my opinion. I gave him to him a couple years ago. But he faced some criticism. He faced some criticism of his fighters fighting the same. And Jermell Charlo came out and kind of killed that. But then again, he learned that from Ronnie Shields. That's how he used to fight, you know, and mixed in with a little bit of Derek James style. It was the first time that he mixed in the two the two teachers. And he got a great result. But once again, one thing that carried this man was that his durability. The right game plan, boxing, his conditioning carried him, his chin carried him, and his ability to carry his power carried him. And that's what's been bailing him out. And you gotta, if he talking about going to 60, which we'll talk about that in a minute, it's gonna be high, how he put the weight on. I think he put the weight on great. I think he big for 154, but it's gonna be about how you take them shots. Them bigger dudes gonna be able to take your punch up at 160 pounds. But he got plenty of skills to play the Bills, and he been on my pound for pound list. He had 3 belts. He had the ring belt. Um, Moved up to number 5 on my list, but um, like I said before, um, last night was the first time that he meshed the two, you know, trainings, and he did. He looked good. He looked good. He used the ropes to his advantage last night. And for Castanos, I mean, honestly, he didn't jab. When you the smaller man coming in, the first fight, they didn't jab outside early in the fight. That's why he was able to come in Charlo. Charlo didn't hold. Charlo didn't slide on the ropes. You know, and he jabbed. That's the biggest thing. He jabbed. And Castanos didn't bring a jab. That's what happened. He had a right hand, and the lead right hand was scoring like crazy, but he ain't jab. And ultimately, that was his own undoing. Was not jabbing. You can't beat nobody that's got that movement, and he got his jab working. And I just didn't think he was gonna make an adjustment. I knew Jermell Charlo could make an adjustment because I've seen him fight that way. You know, so I know he could do it. I never seen Castanos do nothing different. And when the only chance Castanos got is coming inside, and he's not gonna throw a jab. It was simple. It was simple. So movement, speed. I mean, Castanos would have threw a jab. Maybe he would have offset Charlo jab, but he still had to deal with the movement. But he hurt Charlo a few times in that fight last night, a couple times. But Charlo did the smart thing. He moved off the spot. He didn't engage. When he did engage, what I'm saying, it seemed like he got the better of the engaging. And when he didn't engage, he was able to cover his guard up, and he was able to hold. So he fought smart. He fought smart. You couldn't exchange and beat him at his own game, and that's fine. That's fine. He got the shorter hands. Of course, when y'all get the exchanging on the inside, he gonna win. He got the shorter arms. You know what I'm saying, and that's what he do. But Castanos, he didn't jab. He didn't work the body enough, and like I said before, I knew he wasn't gonna make that adjustment because he is who he is. He is who he is. He is who he is. So I knew Castanos wasn't gonna change, but I knew Charlo could do better. I knew it was rumors that he didn't train as well. You know what I'm saying? You heard all that type of stuff, but I knew that I seen before that he can box, and that's what he did. He just boxed him. That's all he needed to do: box him, use a jab, lose a little bit of movement, and that's pretty. That was pretty much the game plan. So I mean, at the end of the day, Castano said he don't mind. He told Tim Zeus he ain't ready for Jermell Charlo. Said he'd fight. I think he said he'd fight Zoo and he'd fight Fondora. So that's I need to think about. I don't know if you want to jump back in there, but start getting good paydays. Of course, you want to keep the good paydays rolling. So I mean, it is what it is. Solid fighter. I think he gave us. I think the shock value was he gave us more than we expected. Not too many people knew about him. He did fight Lara and such and but other than that, a lot of people thought he won. Some people thought Lara won. So at the end of the day, who knows? But But Charlo did conquer the deepest division, bumped his head a couple times. Rematches, close fights. Law was losing some of these fights too, but his power and his chin, as usual, bail him out. Week 5, and people talking about him being above Spencer on my list. I think not, but that's my opinion. Just because it's a tough and deep division. Don't mean they got the most talented fighters in the division. And to me, they got some rugged, tough fighters. But you know, I guess when you fight everybody, you see the holes in that game. But I think it helped him get undisputed was the international flavor in the division and not having another big American fighter there. It was an easy. I'm gonna say easy, but it was an easy political, promotional path there. Had to really deal with too much stuff. To share had another choice with the fight Castano. So good win for him. He top 5 in my opinion. He at number 5. Um, I'm not gonna overreact. I'm not gonna be a prisoner of the moment. He beat Castanos, a guy they were expected to walk through, and it took him 2 times to beat him. Tony Harris, the guy y'all expected to walk through, took him 2 times to beat him. Um, so to me, they some good names at 54, but they ain't the best fighters in boxing. It's my opinion. It's a deep division, it's a tough division, it's a rugged division, but it's a lot of other divisions with more talent throughout it. But just my opinion on it. But Fondora could change that. Lubin could change that. Charles Conwell could change that. Erjan Matamov can change that. So some guys there, Tim Zoo can change that. So we'll see. But good win for him. And just going back to his roots of boxing. And that's what got him to win. So shout out to Derek James for not letting his ego and not letting his training methods get in the way and making the adjustments and allowing, Jermell to do what he do best, and that's box. No matter how y'all feel about him fighting Derek James style, this is Jermell Charlo at his best. When he's using his feet, he's using his speed. He gonna need that going up to 160 potentially, but talk about that in another video. Hey, check out the fight reaction playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button, it's the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Appreciate the notification. We go live drop a video. And then you want to support the channel, Cash App $sign CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. You can find me on through the link tree. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, YouTube, PayPal. Uh, Hitting the link tree link in the description. It's the first link there. Financially, you want to support the channel, Cash App $sign CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. All my social media links there. All my Cash App, Venmo, PayPal links in the description or at the bottom of the screen. Or you can hit the link tree. Appreciate the love and support. One time for the one time. Peace.